So I'm back with a kind of like, not really an update, but just something I wanted to talk about because this is something that's very dear to me. A lot of people don't know about it. Most of the people who do know about it are people who are really close to me, close family, friends, fiance, just people who are close to me. But and that's depression and anxiety. I want to talk about both of them because they kind of go hand in hand. Probably 2 years ago, that's when I had my first bout of anxiety, and I had no idea what it was. Like, out of nowhere, I think I had been stressed out and going through some things which I'll get into later, but out of nowhere I just developed anxiety, and like weird things would happen. Like I would shake and my hands would like shake, and like different things would hurt. I mean, I kept going to doctors like, what's wrong with me, and like I've been tested for every single thing you could probably name, and the doctor's just like, you don't have anything, you're fine, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm like, no, there's something wrong, because when you have anxiety, people who have experienced it know this. When you have it, your body will make you think that you're sick, and you're not. Like, you'll have pains in your chest, you have weird like sharp pains in your head, like, but really you're not really having it. It's like, it's so weird. Like, I can't really explain it, but it's so weird. And then like it got so bad one time, like it turned into a panic attack. Like, I was driving and like I just like, oh my gosh, I had to pull over off the side of the road. I've never experienced anything like this before in my life. Like, I just cried. I pulled up into the emergency room. I was about to go inside, but then before I went inside, I called my grandma Helen, and she called Sister Clara King, and we were on the phone praying on three-way, I believe. But she prayed, and like before you know it, my whole body had calmed down. And then that's when I knew, like, wow, like I need to seek God. Like, that brought me to my knees. I've never experienced anything like this before. So it took me getting so sick and getting to a place where I didn't know what to do. Like, I would cry every night. I couldn't sleep. I just shaking, like just scared, like just panicking about everything that's wrong in my life. Like, it's crazy. And they say that it's just all in your head. Like, but I'm like, why would I have this? Like, where would it come from? Like, nobody in my family has this. Like, but they say it derived from depression. I had been going through some things which I'll talk about later when I tell my testimony, and I became really depressed. And depression and anxiety go hand in hand, and depression can cause the anxiety, and anxiety causes depression, like something like that. And I remember one day I was like, this is it, I can't take it anymore. I lost my job because I was one of the top performers there. I went from being at the top to being like the very bottom. I couldn't concentrate. I would look at the computer and I'm typing it, and then I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like, I'll bust out into tears, like cried every day, like all day. Like, it was crazy. Like, I lost my job. I didn't work another job for like 5 or 6 months. And let me tell you, God is good, because I didn't go lacking. I had money in my pocket. I still could shop if I could got out the house. But I stayed in the house for months. I would not leave my apartment. I would call my dad on the phone crying every single day. My dad would calm me down. He would pray over the phone, or he would drive down to where I was living. Like, I'm so thankful for my family. I would have never gotten through that without them. I'm thankful to God because of prayer. I got on my knees like every single day. I read my Bible. I got scriptures that I had in my mind memorized. I had memorized these scriptures. It got so bad that I memorized these scriptures, and these scriptures were helping me get through. But my thing is, like, why wasn't I seeking God like this before this happened? Like, before this happened, I was just a happy, good person. I wasn't thinking, like, I went to church, I loved God, you know, sung in the choir, like, yeah, but, like, I never prayed like I prayed during this time. I never got on my knees like I got on my knees in this time. Like, I thought I was gonna die. Like, anxiety can get so bad that you'll literally think you're going to die. And, like, some days I prayed like that. I didn't wake up. Like, I didn't want to feel those feelings. Like, it got that bad. Like, people don't understand. When you say anxiety, they think it's something small, but anxiety changes your whole world. Like, nothing is the same. And, like, I went to the doctor, and sorry, I'm getting emotional. And the doctor was, he wanted to give me pills. And I remember I was sitting there and I was shaking, and he was like, you know, when you go through something like you went through in life, these things happen and you need a little something extra to help you get through it. And I agreed with him, you know, said, yeah, he wrote me a prescription. He told me to let him know how it works, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, I did not fill the prescription. No, actually, no, I'm lying. I did fill that prescription, but I did not take a single pill because I told myself that God was going to heal me. I've been getting on my knees and everything, and believe it or not, I started to get better. The praying and stuff like that, the scriptures, like, they were like getting me through to the next day. Like, it started getting easier and easier. And then one day I, you know, went back. I had another attack, and I was just like, Lord. And that was the day that I went to the doctor, and I told myself, no, I'm going to continue to pray. I'm not going to take these pills, but I'm going to feel it, you know, just in case it gets a little bit crazy. I'm sorry, you know, I shouldn't doubt God, but I'm just being honest. So I did not take those pills, and I didn't have another attack. I didn't need to take those pills. I believe that it was a test of my faith, because I was praying to God and I was getting better, and just because I had a setback, it scared me, thinking like, you know, I needed the pills, like, you know, I need to go to the doctor. And but God said not so. So I decided to put my faith and my trust in God and keep doing what I was doing, praying and seeking His face on my knees, reading my Bible, reading my word. And before you know it, I didn't have depression. I didn't have anxiety. I didn't have any of those issues anymore. I've also learned, I guess, researching it. Once you get something, you start researching about it. I learned techniques, breathing techniques and ways. So if I ever feel myself getting stressed out or anything like that, I know, you know, calm myself right on down. But like, I really don't even have to do that. Like, God didn't halfway heal me. God healed me. So I know there's a lot of other people out there with depression and anxiety who are struggling. Like, I know how hard it is. I mean, I cried and I cried like, Lord, please help me. So like, I just want you guys to know that God can do it. Like, God is a healer. Like, he healed me. And I mean, I've heard testimonies, other people's testimonies about stuff, but like, when it happens to you and you got your own testimony, I mean, God is good. Like, if you haven't tried Him, it don't even have to be depression or anxiety, whatever the sickness may be. Like, you know, read your word, look to God for healing. Like, I'm not saying if the doctor gave you some medicine, don't take it. You know, if your faith is not where my faith is, then I don't want you to be like, oh, Erica said don't take my medicine. Like, no, Erica didn't say that. and my faith may be a little bit stronger than yours. So according to your faith, but I didn't take those pills, and my life is getting back on track. I mean, God is good. Like, and actually, I learned in this process that it's really all in your mind. You can be so stressed out, and your mind is telling you that all these things are wrong with you. And you take your mind off of it, and you get happy, and you don't ever think about it again. Those symptoms start fading away. My symptoms were starting to go away. I started forgetting even that I even had anxiety. Like, what in the world? Like, I felt like my throat was, you would feel like your throat is closing on you. It's like, it's crazy all these symptoms anxiety can cause you to have. So, I mean, I'm glad I got a chance, to learn about those things so it can help somebody else. But I'm also trying to, like, I want to have that relationship with God that it doesn't have to come to some type of sickness or something happening to me for me to call on him. Like, I want to be so close to God that I talk to him every day. I read the word every day. Like, I'm working on that. Like, and if you guys want to do that too, like, we can do it together. Like, but I just wanted to share that part of my story, because I know a lot of people suffer with it, and I don't know, I really don't know what to call it, like how to really categorize it, but they say a lot of people have it, and I work in a pharmacy area, so like I know how that there's a lot of people with it, and they depend on their medication and stuff. I looked up all types of medications when I was having it, and